Welcome to the Mike Kellar Show. This is a spring edition special, episode 1. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Coach. First, you had a few more signings that we didn't get to talk about on the last time we talked to you. Aiden Rice and Donovan Williams. Just talk about those two guys real quick.
Two Harrison County kids, which obviously I'm from Harrison County. Aiden Rice is a Shinston kid, which Lincoln High School, which I'm at. Was able to see those guys, or play a lot. Got to see them grow up a little bit. Good athlete, plays multiple sports. Really good offensive player, could be a receiver. At this level, I think his best position is defensive back. He's a bigger kid. I think he's going to grow into maybe a nickel. Sometimes I've seen guys like that with that body grow into linebacker, especially or a dime position where it's really is a backer. Just, we call him dime so he can pretend he's the 6 DB or something, But I think he's got a really good future. And then Donovan, state champion, won it in basketball as well since we've signed him. Just a big kid. The Fairmont senior game, they took him out from being a nickel position where he was covering the slot all the time and put him at defensive end and let him rush the passer. And, that was the night that we decided we absolutely had to offer him. Really good pass rusher. I think he's going to grow into a good player. I was at the Laureate banquet since we've signed those guys, and I got to see them and Moses from that, from all 2 Bridgeport kids and a Lincoln kid, and they all looked the part. They got college. They're not finished products with their college body, but they got college, bodies and college level speed and skill set. So I think all 3 of those guys will help our program a lot.
Now, shifting the focus to spring ball, you've completed your first about 2 weeks of it. You've been mentioning some new guys. When we talked the last time, you're bringing in those mid-year guys, and then also you have a decent amount of returners on both sides of the ball. How do you feel that's going right now? With these first 2 weeks.
Spring's going. It's going really well. It's there's so much you want to get done. The thing about the last team was a lot of those guys, the Sean Sterlings and those guys, they were here for so long that you really, Isaiah Macklin, Roy Cobb, all them guys practiced, and their practice habits were exactly what you want them to be. Maybe not all the time, but they understood what we were trying to get out of practice. Now, if you just look at the bodies running around, the arms and the legs of the whole thing, we're as probably big and strong and fast as we've been, but our habits aren't, what we need them to be. Yeah. So, I tease the staff every day. I always say, well, you guys are getting a hat and whistle again today, and we'll go out there and coach them again today. I will say this about the group. They want to be coached. We've been demanding of them, and I haven't heard any, griping or complaining. Not that they would say it when I'm around anyway, but it's a good thing. It just, I think we can mold this team in the direction we have to. We just got to make sure we as a staff don't get complacent and go, well, hell, we're taller and faster and we're going to be okay. It don't work like that. The kids got to play well.
And then also you got to do a spring scrimmage, something I know you guys wanted to do last year. You weren't able to. You went to Clarion on Saturday. How do you feel that went with your guys finally being able to compete against somebody who's not their teammate?
It was exactly what we needed. We got them up at we were going to play at 12:30. We woke them up, fed them at 7, and left here at 7:30. I think they got maybe a granola bar and a Gatorade on the way up. It's about all they got. We got off the bus. I told them it's going to be like when you're kids, man. You're going to get off the bus, you're going to put your helmet, shoulder pads on, and we're going to go out there and play, and that's exactly what we did. We did 5 minutes of Indy, 5 minutes or 10 minutes of stretch, 5 minutes Indy, 5 minutes of team, and then we played for 2 hours. And it wasn't a good schedule at all. I practiced hard the night before and then got them up early. And to be quite honest, we did all that on purpose. I wanted us to be able to handle some adversity and not set them up for a lot of success. And we got the ball, went right down the field and scored a touchdown. And defense held them back-to-back 3 and outs. And then we did zero preparation. I may have watched 10 plays of Clarion's. As long as I knew what front they were going to be in, we had some semblance of a chance to block, and we did no game planning. I just wanted to see who could play and who couldn't, and who could handle the adversity and who couldn't. And it confirmed a lot of things in my mind on some guys, both bad and good. Like, yep, no, he definitely cannot do it, and he definitely can do it. And then it confirmed a couple others, like, okay, this guy's going to be able to do it, but he's not there yet, And we got to keep working on it, improving. And then we came out yesterday. We went full pads for 2 hours, and my guys were like, "When are we going?" I'm like, "We're not going." I've done all the helmet practices that I need to do and all that. We're going to keep getting physical and banging on this thing and doing as much of that as we can to mold this. Listen, it's just a bunch of guys wearing the same uniform right now. It's not a team by any stretch of the imagination, and it's what they pay us for. It's our job to make them a team.
And now you're hitting the home stretch with spring ball. You're about 9 days away from the spring game on the day of this recording. Certain things, you're really working at, things you want to see in the final week or so. What are you looking at?
Yeah, we've, some of the stuff schematically, I think you're constantly adding, especially the first part of that spring. Then you feel like, okay, well, I've got enough system in that we could teach from here and jump from here, and then you want to add a new motion or a new shift or a change of tempo or something that you're trying to do. So schematically, we're pretty much, I don't want to say you're never really always in, but you got some of the stuff in. We've really tried to kill the situational stuff. I mean, the third downs and the red zone. We've gotten that red area a lot. The goal line, we're down there a lot, and that's by design. One, to help with our toughness, but two, we feel pretty confident we're going to move the ball. It's just how do we do when we get down there if we're coming away with sevens instead of threes? That's critical with us, and working on the threes. That three is not guaranteed, so we've been working a lot on that as well. I think it's good. Our red zone defensive packages are excellent. I mean, they're really. I teased with Coach Mara the other day. I said, "Hell, y'all just let them down there and then stop them." That's what because you're pretty good down there. And if we could get sevens and hold them to threes and zeros, then obviously the math works out in your favor. So it's good, but I'm more concerned with habits, man. I mean, it's just driving me crazy. I mean, they think they run on the field, but they don't. They jog on the field. So I'll blow them back, make them sprint out there. Then they look at me like, I'm a big jerk, and then they don't get in their stance and get set, and they're moving around, and they don't get the communication. It's a constant state of just upsetting me, but I love the team, man, because they get to what I'm trying to say. It's just their timetable on it and thought press on it, and mine's just it's not totally matched yet. But they're to their credit, they're working really hard to get there.
And when you look at spring ball, is that something that you feel really helps you prepare for the season when you're trying to build these habits? Because come fall camp, you really can't be having that happen 2 weeks away from a game. Is that something that really helps right now?
Well, it's different. You're right. The difference between us and Division I, I've never left here in May not feeling good about my team. We've had great winter programs and killed them and ran and put all the adversity and you leave here and you're in good shape, you're physically strong, and you look and then you're like, now I don't get them in June, July. And when I was at Lenore Ryan, you did get them in June, July. It was a little bit different budget set than what you got here, but no, it kills me because I wish we had them more in the summer. And, we've got to find a way of holding them more accountable in the summer. And I think we do all the little tricks that Coach Rodriguez taught us here. We test them before they leave. We try to get them when they come back. We do little summer things with them. And now with technology, we're constantly, zooming or checking up on them. And we got every way in the world to check, but it's still not the same as having them. It just is what it is.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today, and we'll talk to you here in about 2 weeks.
All right, thank you.